God's name to something. Don't use his name to give false authority to your own opinions. This one destroys me. How? Politics. We do it all the time in politics. I'm going to use myself as an example because why not? You all know this, so it's not like I'm hiding anything from you. I used to do a radio show, and in the early days of that radio show, do you know what my catchphrase was, the slogan I used for this? I'm just going to tell you. I've got the logo right up here. The voice of the Christian conservative right. Now, hold on a second. It's one thing to call yourself the voice of the conservative right. That's pompous and arrogant as it is to say, mine is the voice of all people who have conservative politics. It's arrogant. But that right there, the voice of Christ, I'm expressing the voice of Christ. Now listen, if I'm quoting Scripture, then I have the voice of Christ. Then I have authority to proclaim myself speaking the voice of Jesus. But when I start talking about national defense and climate change and trade policy and guns and jobs and taxes, is that the voice of Jesus? I mean, maybe I'm right about those things. Maybe my ideas on guns are better than your ideas on guns. But that doesn't make them Jesus's ideas on guns, and I'm using the name of Christ to give authority to my own opinions, which may or may not be true. That is a violation of the third commandment. You know how I stopped doing this? There was a girl I was dating at the time, and her mom, wonderful woman of God, she said to me, she said, Peter, I agree with everything that you're saying, but this really makes me uncomfortable. This makes me uncomfortable because I listen and I hear you kind of snarky and sarcastic and maybe making fun of Jimmy Carter or whoever, and I wonder, is that the voice of Jesus? It kind of was that moment, plus I didn't want to upset the girl's mom that I was dating, and so we'll drop this slogan and come up with something else. Listen, that's a really important warning that she gave me. We ought to be very cautious when we start throwing around the name of God to justify what we're saying. In fact, there's only one time we should do it, and that's when we're proclaiming the truth that is in His Word.